Okay, this is a quick video on smoothies, how to make a quick smoothie. What I've got in here is a little bit of pineapple juice and pineapple, chunk pineapple. You can also use the crushed pineapple or the pineapple, sliced pineapple. I use it out of the can. If you want to buy fresh pineapple, that could be better if it's a good pineapple. I've got some milk, some Greek yogurt. That gives you protein, which is a nice fruity kind of calcium protein mix. What I got is strawberries and pineapple and Greek yogurt. You can do it with a little milk and some pineapple juice. Gives it the liquid substance you need. The frozen strawberries serve as the ice, and you're going to chop the frozen strawberries in the blender. You need a nice strong blender. I got a cheap one, but a powerful blender will help you chop those things. You can also put ice in there if you like ice. Some people don't like their smoothie without chopped ice, so you can put the whole chunks in there with everything. One thing I do, once I use a little bit for a smoothie, I go over here to the freezer and I put my pineapple in the freezer, right? And what's that gonna do? That's gonna, I'm gonna put some strawberries in now. That's gonna, what that does is it'll freeze the pineapple, and the pineapple will be nice and be ready for the smoothie. Keeps your smoothie nice and chilled. One thing is use about 6 or 7 of these strawberries for a couple of servings probably. That's right there. That's 2, 4, 6, 7. We'll go with 8 strawberries, I guess. Try to get one more. And now we're going to go with some yogurt. See, I don't have the tripod and the several cameras to make this a perfect production, but a couple of scoops of yogurt, that gives you protein, calcium, and a lot of women like the active live cultures. It's probably good for most people's gut, unless you're lactose intolerant. What I would say about people who have the lactose problem, you can use coconut milk. You can make these smoothies. You substitute the milk for coconut milk. There's soy and almond milk as well. You don't want to use that stuff that's in a can that's got a lot of sweetener in it. It's very sweet. Coconut's used for cooking, like desserts or something. But you want to get just the straight coconut milk. I guess you could use coconut water. I have some other variations on my smoothies. One of them is a frozen fruit medley. You get a big old bag in like Walmart, and you fill up the blender to the level of the fruit that you want. And then what I do is pour some fruit punch Gatorade. It's the only flavor of Gatorade that really tastes good with it. A little bit of green tea or black tea in there is nice. People like green tea and don't really like the taste. You won't notice it. You just need about, I don't know, like 3 to 5 ounces of it. And if it's chilled, it's better. So you can get a saucepan and then cook up some green tea and put that in there. So what we'll do next is add a little milk. One thing I didn't put in here, but you can always put in, is a banana. And you don't need much milk. You just need a little bit to make it have liquid. You've already got some protein and some calcium from what you call the got protein and calcium from dairy, from the yogurt. So let's come over here. I got my blender. And what it's gonna do here is put the blender here, and you generally want to make sure that you clean these blenders, clean the blender pitcher, you know, make sure everything's nice and clean. You don't want to get a germ buildup in there. But after you make this, if it's not chilled enough because you didn't have ice, just leave it in the blender. You don't have to pour it right away. You can put it in the freezer and chill it a little bit longer, and then take it and re-blend it. Like say 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the most, depending on the temperature of your freezer. What it'll do is it kind of start to it'll start to chill and start getting a little bit of frosty and icy in there, and then you'll break it up a little bit and make it into a nice drink, right? I do that sometimes when I make my coffee milk, which is equivalent to a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. When you go in there, you see that nice milky white coffee. All I do is put instant coffee in a glass of milk. I make like about a shot glass full of concentrated coffee crystals, with water in the microwave for 30 seconds. I add vanilla, and I add 8 ounces of milk. And I have the same thing. It's $3 in the store. Mac Cafes and Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks is somewhere between about $2.79 and, you know, $3, in some places more. And I make mine for less than 50 cents a glass. So you can consider the costs on a daily basis of one of those. Just subtract 50 cents from $3, and you save $2.50 a day. If you do that 30 days a month, it's $75 of savings. And if you did two glasses a day, then it would be $150. At 3, it's $225. And at 4 bottles a day for somebody who likes to get jacked up and work, it's $300. So if you're somebody who doesn't make a lot of money, making $10 an hour or less, you definitely need to consider that kind of thing. If you like tropical smoothie or some kind of expensive smoothie, even the mixes in the store are too expensive for you. That's a $2 bag of strawberries from Aldi. That's like an expensive yogurt. You can use the plain vanilla and add a little sweetener, NutraSweet, stevia, sugar if you're not diabetic or concerned about that. But use something to sweeten it up a little bit. I don't sweeten this. That'll be just fine. The pineapples are real sweet usually. That's a nice way to sweeten it without using a sweetener. A banana, it adds a little bit of potassium, which is nice as well. The fruit medley with the Gatorade is excellent. I don't recommend any other flavor of Gatorade other than the fruit punch. Pour the fruit punch, like if your fruit comes up to here, pour the fruit punch up to here, the same level as the top of the fruit medley, and then you'll get something that's like a slushy smoothie Gatorade fruit thing. One thing I will tell you though is Gatorade has a lot of salt. So if you're someone who has a risk of hypertension, you don't want to go that way unless you've just lost a lot of salt, probably from a lot of exercise. If you sweat a lot, you need to replace your salt. You know, thing of Gatorade's not going to hurt you usually, depending on your health, but consult your physician if you have health concerns. I'm not going to give you medical advice. Your doctor and nurse will. But I will help you learn how to make something cheaper than, you know, you can look on the back of some of these things. It'll tell you how to make a smoothie. But this is how it's done, and this is how you save money, because the smoothie mix is a little bit more expensive. So you click it in there. You want to make sure the seal of the blender is sealed on the bottom, or you're going to lose your food product and your liquid when you start pouring it in there. If you need to test, you can pour water in there or fill it up with water and then pour it into a pan that you're going to cook with, or put it into a bottle if you want to save it for drinking water, if your tap is good or your well is good. If you want to boil it, like for spaghetti, that's fine, because a lot of things you can boil off that you're worried about. The temperature of the water boiling and the temperature of some of the impurities that might be in your water, you can kill certain bacterial things, and certain things evaporate lower than the water temperature boiling, and you lose them. So that's why people in countries like Korea boil their water, because there's problems in the tap. And they boil it and they make something called oksusu cha, which is a kind of a corn tea, or bori cha, which is a barley tea. So if you're concerned, you can test the seal in your blender so you don't lose the more expensive product, which is your milk and some dripping yogurt and making a mess. If you're real concerned that you didn't put the seal on there correctly, you can have an empty yogurt container standing by, and you can just hold your hand over the bottom to keep the seal and the gear and the blades in place, and dump it quickly into the yogurt, and you can avert a disaster on your countertop. What I'll do now, it's something I need to do, is blend. Start with a little chopping. You want it to start going down. You want a nice... You want all those strawberries to fall to the bottom. I put the pineapple at the bottom so they won't clog the blade. Okay. And as you can see, that doesn't look quite solid enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the refrigeration, come back, and blend it a little bit more. But for the purposes of this video, you understand what I did. If you had ice in there, you wouldn't have any of that problem, and you will have completed your smoothie, and you could pour right away. You just need a clean glass or a clean mason jar or something to drink out of. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you can save some money on your smoothies at home. And